is that they'll give you some kind of feeling about what it's like to be at Merchant Taylors. So why not start with something a little bit positive? Let's talk about what's the best thing about MTS that you've discovered in your term and a half at the school. Who'd like to start on this? Lawrence, would you like to say what the best thing has been so far for you?
Okay, well, yeah, there's loads of things to choose from. But yeah, it's even in a lockdown, MTS has been really fun, and well, I'm obviously really happy to go back after lockdown. But one of my favourite things about MTS, well, obviously, I like all the subjects, to be honest. All the subjects are really good. Yeah, all the subjects are really good, and I like the sport sometimes because I never really got into like hockey, and MTS got me into hockey, and I like all these other subjects like let's say biology and some subjects like these subjects. Like before, I've never had a massive interest in these, but now I have grown an interest in all of my subjects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a nice start. So what you've noticed is that you've expanded perhaps some of the range of subjects that you've taken and seen new activities. Zane, what would you like to say?
Again, there are so many options to choose from. Probably the best part about it is learning in an amazing environment. The people there are so kind, and they allow you and teach you so much that you would not believe possible. And every single day amazing lessons are being taught, especially the staff. They are amazing, and they are also so kind. They support you in all your lessons, so that
That's
it's
nice.
not a
That's
very
nice to hear,
awkward
Zane.
environment.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. And it's interesting you talk about the environment. Michael, what did you want to add?
I think just generally the extracurricular, like, is quite, like, even in lockdown, I've joined Rubik's Cube, chemistry. There are, like, loads of clubs that you can do. And, yeah, I'd say all the opportunities that those clubs give you are, like, really good.
Okay. Okay. What was Rubik's Cube like? Is that fun?
Yeah, I wasn't really able to do a Rubik's Cube before. Now I can do it a bit quicker, but I'm not that good yet. So
Okay. Okay. Brilliant. Zane, what did you want to say?
So I think I've already said.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Aman.
Well, the teachers really encourage you to do what you think is right. Especially when I was first going into the school. I had a very small primary school, literally only like 2 houses, and going to MTs, it was like this big. So yeah, but the teachers were really helpful, so were the students. The best thing about MTS is definitely the way that the teachers and your friends encourage you to do the best and be the best that you can be. I feel like I've really grown since I've come here, even though it's been a short time and COVID has really struck. I feel like the teachers have done their best to kind of navigate their way through that, and overall, I think I'm really enjoying my time here, especially due to the just the amazingness the school has to offer.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Jacob, what you had your hand up. What did you want to say?
There's loads of things that the school has to offer. Unfortunately, because of COVID, there's certain clubs and certain things that we couldn't do. But I still really enjoyed my first term and a half. And one thing that I liked especially was I really liked houses, how we were split into houses.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed House Assembly because it let you know, because there's not many people in our house, so that overpowers the house, and it's nice to get to know different people. And I also like the tutor group because it allows you to share with your tutor things about you, and you can also get to know other people that are in your house.
Okay, how many people are in your tutor group, Jacob?
Pardon?
How many people are in your tutor group?
There's not many, maybe 5 or 6 in like year 7, 8 and 9, and then probably there's about 10 including the years 10, 11 and 12.
Yeah, part of the issue is that we haven't been able to meet your tutor group as an entirety very often because we've been in bubbles, haven't we? So we've been mostly working in semi-tutor groups rather than the whole one, but hopefully we'll be able to meet all your members of the tutor group more regularly once the restrictions are lifted. Leo, you've had your hand up for a while. What did you want to say?
Well, I think the best thing about MTS is the way you learn a new topic. So I've just so it's the first time I learned about chemistry, physics, and biology. So I'm very surprised how fast I learn here because of the teachers are very nice, calm, and easygoing. I think that it's very, very good because I think that every teacher in this school is very good in like their topic and how they teach. The second thing I wanted to talk is the second best thing about MTS is I'd say definitely the food because everyone knows I love eating, but the food is exceptional because it's absolutely the best, and I just feel like it's way better than my old school lunches.
That's very kind of you to say, Leo, because I think we've only really given you a small selection of the food that we have on offer because of the limitations on the kitchens during COVID. But you'll be right to say that once we fully open up the kitchens, they'll give a massive variety of different menu choices, vegetarian, pasta, and different choices of hot meal, salads and pudding. So well done for highlighting the food, although I think you've probably only tasted a small portion of what we have to offer. Let's go on to another question, which I think sometimes new boys are curious about, which is what the teachers are like. Now, I want you to imagine that you're talking to our guests and to their parents and not to me. I'll almost turn my ears down a little bit here, but would anyone like to talk a little bit about what the teachers are like at Taylor's? Lum, I see you've got your hand up. Lum, what would you like to say?
So when I was joining year 7, my mom was telling me like, well, now you're in year 7, the teachers are going to be much more strict. They're not going to like, you know, if you don't get something done, they're not just going to be like, it's okay, you can have another chance. But I think that's false because here they provide like a fun working environment instead of being like drill sergeants. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Yes.
instead of, you know, going like, all right, so you need to do these pages, you need to do these tasks in this time, they help you, they can provide more information if it's not already given. That is generally helpful.
Yeah, yeah. I that's a really nice thing to say. I mean, I do think that obviously there are lots of different kinds of teachers in a school this size, but I do think we do our best to be encouraging and not strict or harsh. Who else has got their hands up here? Jacob, have you got your hands up for this one?
Yeah, the teachers, they're all really nice, but they can be like strict in a way when they need to.
Yeah.
But they're really good at teaching all of their subjects, and they encourage all of the students to
Yeah.
be the best that they can be at all of their subjects that they do.
Okay. And let's ask somebody who hasn't said anything so far. Kanish, what do you think? What are the teachers like, Kanish?
The teachers are quite nice and they try to push you to be the best that you can.
Mm-hmm. What, did you notice in any way how they were different to when you were at your previous school?
My old school, one teacher taught everything. So
Yeah.
These teachers are like good at the
Yeah, because you have different teachers specializing in their own subjects. Okay, that's good. And Lawrence, what would you say about the teachers?
Well, I'd say the teachers are very nice, and compared to primary school, like Nish said, they're like we had in my primary school I had one teacher for literally every subject, and these teachers when I was doing, let's say, art lessons, in primary school it was a bit simpler, simpler art,
Mm-hmm.
but now in secondary school it's much funner art. It's getting much funner. There's more things to do in art, and this is basically for nearly every single subject. And all the teachers are very nice, and they're not. They can be pushy when they need to be pushy. They won't like shout at you. Well, only if you forget homework or something really badly, or do something really bad. But they won't like get super mad at you if you've got they won't do anything like that. So I think the teachers are really nice.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that, and that's a lovely thing to say. Now, Rory, you've had your hand up for a while. What did you want to say, Rory?
So I really like the teachers. I like how you get to know loads of different people, because same at my old school, we only knew one teacher for every subject in one classroom. So they're all really kind, and they don't care too much. They will get angry, but they don't care too much if like one-off you've done something bad. And they're all really nice.
Okay. Well, we'll talk a little bit about what happens when things go wrong in a minute. Okay, so there we are. I'm glad you quite like your teachers, and they're not too bad, as Rory said. So another interesting thing is quite often you've come from schools, haven't you, where you don't necessarily get a lot of homework. So I thought our guests might be interested a little bit about what it's like what the homework is like, and do you get a lot of it, or if it's difficult? I'm going to ask Priyan, who we've not heard from yet. Priyan, would you like to start off on this one? How have you found the homework at Merchant Taylors?
Well, I found it quite different to my old school. It's not that hard, but it's still pushing you to a level which you can manage.
Yeah. How much homework do you normally get in an evening?
In an evening, about one to two pieces.
Okay. And how long would you spend on that?
I would usually spend about half an hour to an hour on the homework.
Yeah. Okay. And tell our guests how homework is set. How do you set? How's it set, Priyan?
So it's set by they put it on Teams, and we have to open Teams and find it there, and it will be an assignment, and we'll have to send it back through Teams, or another thing called OneNote, which we will have to take a picture and send it back there.
Okay. And can you access it on your phone as well?
Yes, you can.
Okay, that's great. Let's see who else wants to talk about homework. Leo, you've had your hand up for quite a long time. Was there something you wanted to say about homework?
Well, I think that the homework is very easy and fun, especially the ones which it makes you like answer sheets to do and other projects. For example, we have some competitions such as the Big Read, which some of our teachers think that it's a good idea. It's a way to make yourself push harder to win a prize. So it's a bit like you're trying to get the carrot, because it's going to be, it's going to be fun and easy, because the teacher will only make you do like a few of them, not all. So it's you have a lot of time to do it.
Okay. And Noah, what would you like to add to that?
So like Leo said, we have multiple days to do homework. I don't think we ever get any homework which is we only have a single day to do. Most homework we have at least 2 nights to do, so you don't need to do all of your homework in one day. But if loads of your teachers happen to set you loads of homework on the same day, then you can spread it out over the rest of the week normally.
I mean, that's right, Noah, isn't it? Because the rule is, I think, that you have 48 hours to complete any homework, that we don't ask you to do them overnight. And also we don't have a homework timetable, do we? We teachers set the homework when it suits their topic, and then you get 48 hours to do it. So that's really helpful, Noah. Ibrahim, what did you want to say?
I think they do give quite a bit of homework, but enough for you to also have fun at home as well. Not just so you end up spending the whole night in homework, just doing homework. And I think that's good balance, that the teachers manage to give you enough homework for you to have fun while doing your homework and also have fun after doing your homework.
Okay, so in your first year, has anyone ever found they've had too much homework to do on one night? Because they've got a bit of a. Has anyone had that issue? I'm just seeing if any hands go up. No, I don't think so. Michael, did you want to add anything?
Yes, the homework spread out quite well. You still have time to play, and sometimes it's just fun. Like for Latin, we had a choice of like translating a story or writing our own horror story, and I thought that was quite fun. So it's not all.
That sounds fun. I really enjoyed the exercise you did where you drew your own Bayer tapestry in history. I thought that was very entertaining. There were some fantastic cartoons there which told the story of 1066 really well. So yeah, I'm glad there's a variety of homework, and I'm glad that most of you are not, you're not finding that you get too much on one night. Let's move on to the next question then, which is, what was it like joining from your primary school? I think it's quite intimidating, isn't it, to come to Merchant Taylors? It's a very big school. It's much bigger than your primary school. Who'd like to lead off on what it was like to come to Merchant Taylors from their primary school? Who should we teach? Thomas, what was it like coming to Merchant Taylors for you? Because you came from, well, you had a bit of a change. How was it for you?
So for me, coming to Merchant Taylors was a really hard challenge, because when I took my exam, it had only been 2 years I have been in an English school. Also, the first day at MTS really struck me because I was used to, my old school was as small as a house, so the size was also something that shook me. Yeah. Also, I really liked teaching and the challenges it gave me, because because before it wasn't, I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted to try harder and better, because that's the only way you can
improve is not by doing the same thing.
Okay, Tom, that's right. I mean, certainly the size of the school is something that is people go naturally sort of take in and are a bit nervous about, but you get given maps, don't you? And you get shown around before you come to help you work out where things are. Sam, what did you notice about moving from your old school to Merchant Taylors? What sort of things did you notice?
So I noticed that Merchant Taylors had a lot more academic activities and clubs after school.
Yeah.
And we normally in our old school, we would all have to go to the lunch hall like we do now, but we do have to like sit next to each other in a certain way, but now we can sit next to our friends where we want to.
Yeah.
So we can with each other.
What was the hardest part of the first 2 or 3 weeks at Merchant Taylors, Sam? For you, what was the hardest part?
Hardest part was probably the one-way system.
Yes.
I got to lessons more late.
Yes, because we had to have a one-way system because of COVID, didn't we? So finding a way around the school was a bit of a challenge. Aman, what did you want to say?
Well, like many other kids, I came from a considerably small primary school. I'd never been to like such a big ground as a Merchant Taylors before. So as soon as I entered, I was like, what is this? When you come to the school, you definitely get a good ambience, and you also can ask students like us, and you can also ask teachers for directions, especially with the one-way system. If that's still going to be introduced in when you join, then we'll be in year 8 at the time, so then you can always ask us for directions. Again, you might not see as many teachers as boys, so feel free to ask us. Again, you might feel shy at first, but you'll get to know friends really slowly. Everyone's actually really, really kind, and they really support you once you get into the hang of things. Probably like 2 weeks in, like 2 or something more, then that's probably where it kicks in most. But you'll feel comfortable as time goes on. You might miss your primary school, but hey, you're going to a great school anyways.
Jacob, what did you want to say? Thank you for that, Aman. What did you want to say, Jacob?
Well, from my primary school in our year, I have about 5 or 6 people that came from my primary school, and Noah and Prayan, they came from my primary school and they're in my class. So and also we had like a year 7 WhatsApp group. So we kind of got to know each other. So it was quite easy to settle in. I settled in the first half of term, and at first when I saw the school's overwhelming presence, I was just like, I'm never gonna be able to find my way. But soon you're just so I just followed everyone around, and then at the second half of term, my legs just took me where I wanted to go. So it begins to get easier.
That's really nice. That's really nicely put, Jacob. I mean, what we do is we try and put boys in year 7. We put them into forms where they live quite near other members of the form. They're not geographically miles away from other members, so it does give them the chance, hopefully, to hook up. Obviously, under COVID, that's not really been possible, but we do group the boys so that you live in the same sort of area, so you can make friendships outside school. Lum, you've had your hand up. What would you like to say?
So I think that joining from my primary school, so in primary I came from a small one, and I was in I was in one for most of year until year 5. Then I was in a different one until year 5, and I made friends pretty quickly in that new school. But then I had to leave them, obviously, and join Merchant Taylors. That was quite quick to make friends, actually. I think like the best thing to do is be as open as possible. Like say, hello, my name is whatever your name is. How are you? You know, and then like October, you're going to start making like friends you'll stay with till, I don't know, college or something.
Yeah, that's very nicely put. Okay, well, look, so I think we hopefully everyone will settle in quite well and make friends quite quickly. If we move on to our next question, which I think is an important one, really, and be interesting to hear what you have to say here. So what do you do if you struggle with work? Who would you turn to? What if you've got difficulties with your work, or you can't do it, or you're going to hand it in late? What would you do there? Leo, I think you had your hand up from before then, but Leo, what would you do if you had problems with your work?
Well, so if I had any problem with my work, I would first of all ask my friends in the WhatsApp group. If they don't know, I'll email my teacher, which is very easy to do because the teacher will always be happy to help you with anything that is wrong or a problem. So I think that if you struggle with work, that's very, very very rare because all the work is quite easy. But if you do struggle with the work, you can email your friends or your teacher, or they would help you because they want you to be have a good time and have good grades.
Okay. Zach, you've been quite quiet for a while. What would you do if you had problems with your work? What would you turn to? How would you get help?
It depends on what work it is. If it's homework, I would just do it myself. If it was in school, I was having a problem at work, I would ask the teacher that is present there for help.
Yeah. Okay, and who else has got their hand up? Who should we turn to here? Aman, what would you do if you had problems with your work?
If I had problems, I would turn to a teacher, or I would turn to some of my friends. Normally, everyone in Merchant Taylors is extremely helpful. And again, like for the first few days you come to school, instead of asking us, your friends would probably know better. So you can ask your friends. I bet they'll be pretty open for the, especially if you get to know them for the first few days. Again, I think the worst thing for the future year 7 to do, that's you guys by the way, is to hide it until the end. I feel like teachers get really angry when that happens because they couldn't be open to the students, and they couldn't. So the students could be open to them, and therefore they couldn't help the students. In earlier time to make them to actually maximize the knowledge and education. So
asking for help is important is kind of what you're saying, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. And Lawrence, what would you like to say about that question?
Well, I'd say if I was struggling with work, then I'd go into Outlook straight away and just send an email to my teacher saying, can you help me with this or that? Or if I don't want to do that, there's also tutors at our school which are quite open. So like this, if something's going wrong, like struggling with your work, for example, then they'll be so open to you. They're very kind. So if you tell them, then they'll have a chat with you. You can tell them what you're struggling with, and they'll sort it out with you. So that's a possibility if you're struggling with your work.
Okay, so what we're saying is that we've got various ways we can get help. We can contact each other. We can email our teachers. And also, we've not mentioned it, but you can actually send messages in Teams, can't you, to the teacher asking for help. And then also your tutor is a good source of help as well. Jacob, you had your hand up for this. Did you want to add something?
Well, I think there's a lot of options and you can do a lot of things. You can maybe also look at your notes and
Yeah,
see if you can find anything there. But obviously you can contact your friends, you can ask your parents, you can ask your
yeah,
teacher, and there'll always be someone to help you if you need help.
good. Okay, nice answer. Let's go on to got a couple more questions. I think this is an important one for us as well. It's not quite the same as the last one, but what would any of us do if we had a problem in school? If, say, something was making us unhappy, or we were struggling in some form or another, what would we do with those in that situation? Arian, you put your hand up first. What would you do?
So at Merton Taylor's, I don't really have many problems, so far at least. And but if I did, for example, a problem with my homework, or if I'm struggling to give something in, I'd ask my tutor.
Yeah.
I think that's the best person to ask, because they're always there for you, and yeah, they're always available to help, your tutor.
How many times do you see your tutor every week, Arian?
I see them at the moment. I see them 4 times a week because of
Yeah,
lockdown.
yeah,
And without lockdown, I think I also see them 4 times a week without the
yeah.
lockdown. Or
That's
3
right. So
times a week, I mean, yeah.
we meet at least 3 times a week, and also in house assembly as well. So that's nearly 4 times. So a tutor is really an important point of contact, isn't it? Aman, what were you going to say?
If you need help in, or if you have a problem with something outside of school and it's affecting your personal school life, I've kind of had that problem before, and school council was great. It's a bit of an unexpected twist, but I know like some people, like in very odd number, but sorry, in a very large numbers, like at least one person would like have a problem, and
Yeah.
it's school council is very helpful. I've been there before. Right now everything's all right, thanks to school council. I'm getting on with school perfectly now, and they really encourage you, and they always try and like talk to you the best you can. It's a real good way just to talk it out and let all your feelings go. Especially when you're in school, you can't really show your emotions as you can't really like how would I explain this? Like, just you can really just like start talking to everyone about your personal problems at home. I know how it feels to kind of like hide them.
Yeah.
Again, you could be open. It's entirely your choice. You don't need to specify the reason. You could just tell your teachers that you have school counselling. To be honest, I've
Yeah.
done that before, and it's really helped. Normally
Yeah.
in break or in lesson, one of them will be took up by school council. My school counsellor now is Pamela. They're very, 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 very helpful.
Yeah.
I
So that's a great option as well if you want to share and something that's different. Noah, what would you like to say? You've had your hand up for a while.
So if you've got a problem in school, if your tutor doesn't really know, then you could ask your form tutor. And if you've got an IT problem, then you could email the head of IT. For most subjects, there's normally someone who's available. So there's quite a lot of people who know what to do if you've got a problem.
That's great. So we've got various options. We've got our tutor, who I think is the first person we'd ask for help. Then we've got our form tutor, who we see every Friday normally, and that's just for the year 7s rather than a tutor group which has got lots of different age groups in. And then we also have a school counsellor who, if you want to go and talk about your problems to, you can do as well. So there's various routes and options there to support you. Jacob, your hand went up.
Just one more thing. Obviously there's the problems that we've listed and their solutions, but also you could talk to one of your friends, and if it's like a problem that maybe a lot of people are having, they can like maybe some people are in student council, and they can make that problem solved. So future, people don't have the same problem.
Okay, that's a lovely answer. Okay, we have one question left, which is, if I just find it for us, what was a lesson that you really enjoyed? Now that might be difficult to imagine. Of course, obviously, most of our lessons from January have been online, but if we can think, I was just wondering whether anyone could talk about a lesson that they particularly enjoyed during the first year. We've got 3 hands up, which is absolutely lovely. We'll start with Sam. Sam, tell us about a lesson you really enjoyed.
I really enjoyed DT as we got to do lots of practicals every day. I don't think there was actually a day when we couldn't do a practical.
Tell us what you did in DT, Sam. What kind of things have you done?
We're making desk tidiers, and we were using the plastic to make a phone holder and the metal to make pen holders.
Okay, so you use a different range of materials to make your desk tidier in DT. I think DT is a very popular lesson, isn't it? Because you can get to use all the different equipment. Working our way up, Michael, what would you like to describe a lesson you really enjoyed?
I like English because our teacher's just like really nice. He's like even in online learning, we do together mode, and it will be quite fun. We change the background and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can you tell us of a particular thing you've done in English that you enjoyed?
Well, the storytelling was quite good. If we've all finished our work a bit early, and so he just screen shared like a video, someone telling a story, and we just watched it.
Okay.
So
That sounds nice. Okay, so it sounds like you've got a fun teacher there. I think we've got time for one more contribution. Lawrence, what would you like to describe?
I've got one particular lesson which was quite recently. I'd say we once did this Latin lesson where we had to have a horror story. We either made a horror story or like translated a horror story, and it was really fun, that lesson, because everyone was saying their horror stories and basically getting scared and having just fun time. It was like the last Latin lesson of the part of the term. So yeah, it was quite fun. And obviously your lessons are the best, sir.
Well done, Lawrence. You definitely get a credit for that. So look, 7JRT, I'd like to thank you so much for sharing your ideas for our guests today and for being very honest, I hope. And thank you very much. And we'll say goodbye to our guests now. Thank you very much.
Bye, Sam.